Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Library Astro. And today I will be discussing a series going by the name of John Dies at the End, written by formerly known as David Wong, which was his pseudonym. Now he's using his real name, Jason Pargin. So if you do try to buy the book and you see his name as David Wong, just know it's the same book by the same author, just with a different name. Now this series is a horror, humorous, sci-fi, adventure, and did I say humor? Yeah, I was gonna say comedy, but yeah, supernatural, science, all sort of things into it, also elements. So if you're into sci-fi, horror, comedy, you'll love this. Now, in going into the book, the main characters of this book, the two main characters are John in the title and Dave. These two have encountered a substance called a soy sauce. Now, the soy sauce is a living black gooey thing. It's alive, and it chooses who it wants to give its ability to. And if it doesn't choose you, you will die in horrible ways. One of the ways which some characters have died was through their limbs just falling apart, their body just splitting in two, while they still maintain their consciousness for a while. But yeah, horrible deaths, and it chooses very few people. So far, Dave and John were the chosen ones. All the other chosen ones, well, they died through unforeseen circumstances. Yeah. Now the soy sauce gives certain abilities, one of which consists of interdimensional travel, so you can travel to a different universe. So, for instance, John and Dave managed to travel to a different universe where a scientist going by the name of Adam Rooney, whereas in our universe he died trying to crossbreed animals. Was in that other universe he survived and he managed to create organic computers. Yeah, what should I say, an organic computer. And that organic computer, after Rooney dies, became sentient, and it conquered half of the universe in that parallel universe. It conquered it and it created its own justice, its own way of things. Life there was very different. People lived underground. Nature was untouched mostly, and they used giant spiders to get around as vehicles. They used all sort of weird things, and some of them didn't even have eyes, since they live underground and they didn't need to have eyes. And this creature could see the future. Yeah, he could see the future. So if he felt like a genius was born, he would absorb that genius into himself. So he'll eat them to absorb the genius. If he saw someone would rebel against them, he would kill them at birth, or kill them whenever he got a vision that they would try to take down his system or be against him. Or you can say it, because it's a giant thing, so I wouldn't really call it him. Yeah, and that's just one of the powers that you can get from the soy sauce. Other thing is your perception of time is different, so things move a lot slower, while your brain is moving rather quickly, whilst everything else is moving quite slow. It can also it also gives you a second sight. Yeah, so you can see things other people can't. Ghosts, creatures from different dimensions, all sort of things. things which the naked eye simply can't see. Another abilities is that it allows you to just know things. So there was a scene in the book where one of the main characters, Dave, he knew exactly how many grains of rice was on his bowl of rice. Yeah, he knew exactly that, and he knew the exact dream in detail which the journalist which was interviewing him about his adventures had. Yeah, so he knew all of that. So yeah, that's the ability of the soy sauce. It gives you quite a few things. Now, John and Dave, their adventures basically consist of them solving these supernatural, paranormal things. And what happens is, in this series, interdimensional beings or things like to leak in through our universe, or should I say their universe. Once it leaks in, most times the normal eye can't see it, at least not for a very long time. They cannot see it. Yeah, and only people with the soy sauce, the majority of the time, can see it. There have been some instances where even where you have this soy sauce, you just still can't see these creatures. They can still make themselves invisible. So John and Dave, their job is to basically hunt these things and kill it before they cause havoc. And these things, they tend to mainly occur in their town, and their town is known to be cursed. It's mentioned that the Native Americans who used to live in that town, they called it some name, which roughly translates to seriously fuck this town. Excuse my French. Yeah, something like that. It's cursed. Also, manner of supernatural things occur there, sci-fi-ish things. I forgot to mention the soy sauce also allows you to open doors which agents from another dimension can use to displace themselves from one place to another. So say if someone wants to go to they want to get from a different location in town, they'll use a door. Now if you have the soy sauce, you can also use it. A normal person won't be able to go through, they'll just see an empty room, but John and Dave could do it. Now going back to what I was saying before, John and Dave, their job is to hunt these things down, send them back where they come from, or just decapitate them, burn them, or use some of the items at their disposal. So certain items work against these beings, these creatures, notably religious texts, especially from the Abrahamic religions and some other religions too, although it's said that not all religions have an effect on these creatures. But what we've seen so far is that Bible verses seem to work, Bible songs, or simply songs that implies purity can work against these creatures, can deter them. Yeah. And these creatures, so there's not, in this series, there's not really a hell. However, hell is described as something horrible. So basically, where these creatures are from, to us humans, will see as hell because it's full of torture and sadness, pain. And there's creatures out there that just love to inflict pain. That's what they want. They want nothing else but to just inflict pain. It's said in the series there's creatures that can eat your soul and keep chewing it for eternity. So they can keep torturing your soul, keep chewing your soul, keep eating it for eternity. Yeah. And John and Dave, their job is to close up these doors and don't let these creatures in. As for creatures, there's a lot of urban creatures around. So there's the shadow men. As you expect, the shadow men are shadowy, human-like figures. They have no face, just shadows, and in their eyes, it's just beaming lights. So that's what you can see. Obviously, if you're not in the soy source, you can't see it. Yeah, but if you can train yourself, kind of. So there's a character called Dr. Marconi. He sort of trained himself to slightly see certain things, and the way that works is if you don't directly look at it, you kind of turn your head away, but then you can see it in the corner of your eyes, something like that. But you have to train it. And these creatures, they described us, they're said to be seen, but in a way that the human eye won't remember it. So they describe it as, imagine when you're walking down the street, your brain is taking in all sorts of information. You can see a lot of things, but your brain only remembers things that you want to remember, you consciously want to remember. But everything else that your brain saw that day, it just forgets it. So the theory that in this series is that people do see these things, but they forget because their brain just don't register it. Same way your brain don't register everything you see around you while you're driving or walking or doing whatever. It's like that. So it's quite interesting. And there's other creatures inspired by urban legends like Slender Man, but they don't go by that name. But yeah, there's creatures that look like that, and then there's creatures that resemble, say, spiders, but then they're distorted to look horrifying. Yeah, there's all sort of scary things. A lot of creatures seem to resemble normal things, but then they might have a human tongue, for example. So they're quite distorted. And an interesting note to note in this series is that, you know how people make deals with demons and creatures with, like, you know, strange entities, and then when they don't fulfill the deal, the entity comes, finds them, and kills them. And there's never a mistake, they always get them. In this series, these creatures can make mistakes. So there was a story where a kid wanted a game console. His parents didn't want to get it for him, so he made a deal with the devil to kill them so he can get the game console. And he changed his mind. But then he changed how he dresses, his hairstyle, whatever. So when the entity came to get him, he got the wrong person that looked like him. Yeah, so they can make mistakes. Oh, I'm sorry, I think he believed he wanted a new car, but then his parents got him a console instead. It's one of those two. I don't quite remember. I read it quite a while back. But yeah, entities here can make mistakes. Moreover, on the adventures to save the world, John and Dave have obtained a cult following, and these fans sometimes send them items which are sometimes useful, sometimes are not. Sometimes they're haunted items that the fans think they're haunted, and they want John and Dave to find some use of it. And some of those items are useless, some are useful, some are actually there was a case where they go send Scooby glasses, and these Scooby glasses allow them to actually see a door that they couldn't see before. Yeah. So, and John and Dave are said to basically be protected by agents or being or something like that. So they can't easily be killed. Yeah, they can die. Like other powerful beings can kill them, but when humans try to kill them, something always happens that sort of saves it. Something conveniently will happen that will save the day. So they're said to basically be protected by some sort of aura. Yeah. However, the thing that protects them is said to have its own motives. So it's not exactly good or evil. So it just has its own interest. And within the series, there were agents that have been monitoring John and Dave, and they've been finding ways to try and get the soy sauce away from them, because they believe that is what keeps them protected. And I forgot to mention about the soy sauce again. It's contained in a vial which always stays cold. Yeah, so there's no way of knowing how it stays cold, but it always stays cold. And no matter where they throw it or lose it, it always finds its way back to them through some unlikely scenarios. Completely realistic, but unlikely. But the soy sauce will always finds its way back to them. So there's that. The soy sauce can also give you extreme creativity. So there was a character going by the name of Jim. He was creating an interesting piece of art, and it was so good, so good. When one of the forensics came to his house to basically investigate, and they saw that piece of art, they started to cry. They fell down in tears crying. Yeah, like it said that even Van Gogh would have painted that. It's something that would take a lifetime or 2 lifetimes to paint, but Jim was able to do it because of the soy sauce. So it gives you interesting abilities, and throughout the story, just interesting things happen. Not anything that you see you might think is normal, it's probably not normal. So there was a case where John was eating a burger, and this burger was screaming. John carried on eating it. He doesn't care. Like, John is the most nonchalant person in this series. There was another person who just going with the flow sort of guy, but John takes the cake. He doesn't get phased easily by these things. Like, he actually likes the adventure. Whereas Dave, he's the opposite. If Dave could get away from it, he probably would. Yeah, he hates it. He wants a normal life. John doesn't like normal. John likes adventure. He likes conspiracies. He likes things that are out of this world. Dave is more a cool-headed guy. He likes to keep John out of trouble, but John likes to go into trouble. Right? He has a knack for it. And this seems to complement their personality quite well, their friendship. And by far, John is the funniest. Like, if you want comedy, John is funny. He says, he does say some ridiculous things too, but overall, he's quite funny. And I really enjoy this series. And I've been reading for a while, and I'll carry on, and I'll be updating you guys. And that's it for today. So if you feel intrigued, if you feel like checking out this series, feel free to. I will put the author's name on the description so you can go and check it out. With that being said, have a nice day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and hope you like this video. If you do, stay in touch. I'll be uploading more. And with that, stay safe and keep on reading. Keep reading. It's better than watching TV. The sort of media you discover in books is unmatched. Trust me. Have a nice day.